Look at my new iPhone 13.
You're just such a braggart. Such a braggart, sir.
I couldn't even bring nothing to the table today.
Isn't that pretty?
So, all right, before we get started, what's the deal with what's the difference? I have the 11.
The camera's ridiculous.
I heard it was.
The camera's really incredible. I mean, it takes incredible pictures, and you
Really?
can focus and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty. I haven't even messed with
the other one was really good too. So it's better than the 12 and the 11.
I have the 12 is definitely better than the 11, and I don't know if and the 13 is better than the 12. So I haven't really messed with it yet, but so far so good. It's pretty amazing.
So Shahidah, you already know that typical Apple form. Now that the new one is out, our battery life is going to be dying very soon. Like before, it would be like my battery will last all night if it's fully charged. Now it'll probably last like 25 minutes. That's what they do. It's a Ponzi scheme. I'm sick of it.
I hate Apple. I really miss my Samsung. I'm sorry. The only reason I went back to Apple was because my grandson has an Apple phone and the communication is different. But if I had not, my Note, oh my God, I love my Samsung Note. Loved it.
Oh, wow.
I'm just a slave to the Apple. Nope. I'm just a slave. I have the iPad, the watch, the phone, and I just don't like change. So, and I don't want to learn a whole new phone system. So that's why I keep with the iPhone. They get me every time, but I wish they bring the BlackBerry back because that was my initial phone, and I loved my BlackBerry. I
love the BlackBerry too. Loved it. And you're so funny when I'm watching like Korean TV shows. None of them have an Apple. They all have Samsung. Everyone.
Oh yeah, that is true.
So, anyway.
Well, welcome to another episode of Still Dope. Lord Jesus, baby black Jesus. We got a lot to talk about because this episode, again, like I always say, what a difference a week makes.
We gotta have to have some ground rules. No interruptions. Let people finish their thought. I'm just saying, because we have so much, we don't want over talking, killing the vibe. So let's go.
And I'm just going to say this. I am going to apologize to everyone because I'm the one that gets the brunt of the YouTube comments of like, Tanya, shut the fuck up. Shut your fucking mouth. Stop interrupting everybody. I'm like, I'm trying. I responded. I'm like, I'm trying. Cut me some slack.
Have you got more?
That's why I do this. That's why I do my raising my hand like, I won't talk. So here we go.
Oh, we can all do that.
So
have you gotten more people saying that? Oh, okay.
No, I've been working hard on it. Okay, so good. I'm gonna listen, Shahidah, who we starting off with?
I don't even know who to start off with. I mean, because I feel like, you know what? Let's start off with Johnny and Bao.
Okay. Bow. Okay.
Because that was some sexy shit.
I'm looking at my notes, so let me just make sure that. Let me see.
There was nothing negative. It was just all a positive. I don't think I've ever seen an episode where it was just all positivity in one couple. Go ahead.
Okay. The only note that I had of all the notes with regard to Johnny and Bao was surprised that Johnny was checking her out. I loved it. Everything about that when she was putting the food in the oven and she's all bent over and he's just like, ow, and she's like, ooh, he was checking me out. And I'd have been like, bitch, you better be happy he's checking you out. Cause if that was my man, I'd stick my booty out even more. And I don't even have a big booty, but I arch my back and be like, hello, we're going to eat this dinner and go to bed and have good sex. That's what we going to do. I love them. And the way that when they were in the bed, and she like straddled him, like she was sitting on his lap and straddled him. And I was like, I wonder if he's inside her right now. Just saying.
Well, they were fully clothed, weren't they?
Yeah, but there's ways of making that work.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't think they would with the cameras in there, though.
But the cameras could have just come in as, I
wonder if there's any couple that's ever been like freaky deaky, like on the camera, like wanting to be seen. There has to be one couple.
Some people like a show.
I would.
I
put it.
like their game. I have nothing to say about them other than it was.
Are you a fan of their? Are you a fan of theirs now?
I told you I like them. I like both of them.
Yeah, but
I like her more. No, I'm a fan.
Okay.
All right, wait. I do have one question because I'm looking at my notes, and I don't know what this is, and it was pertaining to Johnny and Bao. Maybe or is it? Yeah. What is vanilla sex?
Just like regular old Caucasoid.
Caucasian sex, boring sex. Or just
regular like missionary, like the woman lays on her back and he just like and that's it. Yeah. Okay, because when I saw that, I was like, when he said something about vanilla sex, and I'm like, fuck is vanilla? I had to rewind it. I'm like,
never heard that before?
I've never heard of vanilla sex.
Really?
No. I've either just been like, it's either missionary, either you're just a dead fuck doing missionary sex, or you just a freaky leak and you're like, yes, let's tank, and let's do this and that and this. I never heard of that.
How about Bao being like, oh, every day? He's like, oh, at least every other day.
At least every. They have really connected. And
yes, they have.
But they went through the hard work to do that.
Exactly. You're right. You're right. And both of you have been right from the very beginning, where I was kind of nitpicking him more so than her, but really nitpicking him, thinking that he was just whining about shit. But look where they are now. I think they're in a good space.
He was just terrified. He's just terrified. Mm-hmm. He acted like a dude, like, holy fucking shit, I'm married, and I'm married to Bao. Holy fucking shit. Usually I can't go anywhere. Now he's like, okay, I got my wife. Relaxed. I'm fucking my wife. I like my wife. We get along. She's great. I'm going to make this shit work. She wants to make it work. If it's going to work with anybody, it's going to be with the two of them are saying it's going to be with this motherfucker. You can't get a more perfect connection with, culturally,
right,
intellectually, OCDE. They're both, you can't get more. She was just terrified of, being in it. He's terrified. You force them together like an arranged marriage, really. Yeah. Like an arranged marriage. And you make that shit work. And that's perfect. It's great. It's really great. I'm really, really happy for that.
So I'm
groove on too. They get that groove on.
Yeah, they are.
Affectionate with each other. You know what I mean? They look like they've been together for a while.
Yeah,
they look. I really.
I like them. I like them together. So enough about them because we don't want to waste up.
So what are we giving them as far as percentages again? I left my sheet last in my room.
They're 9. They're 90 for me.
90. I'm gonna give them a 95. I'd give them 100.
I'm gonna go with 95.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say 100, but as each week, my thing is like, what a difference a week makes. So I'm gonna give them a 95, but I don't think nothing's gonna pop off with. I mean, they might have their problems, but I don't think that it's going to be divorce problems. I think they're just gonna have regular conflicts that normal people have. I give them 95.
Okay, I'm going 95 too. I'm gonna go 95. Let's go to Myral and Gil. Myral, anybody?
Chris?
You won't even participate in the things. You won't even participate in what they're giving you to do. He's like, body shots. I don't do body shots.
Oh my God.
Oh yes.
What do you fucking want? What do you want? And we're celebrating the fact that she gave him a kiss on the lips and they've been married for 3 fucking weeks? We're supposed to be excited about that? Come on.
I know.
God, I don't like her.
That conversation with Dr. Viviana, and she was just telling him, like, we're not getting a divorce. We're not.
I wrote that down when she was like, you won't, when she said, no, I wrote it down because she was like, quote unquote, you won't divorce me. And I was like, oh, yes, the fuck he will. Like, no man is that dumb. Like, you ain't even all that. You're fucking greasy.
So on a scale of On a scale of 1 to 10, Merlo, where do you think you're in intimacy? 7? 7? 7 out of a scale of 100, maybe?
Okay, we said we weren't going to interrupt, but I got to interrupt.
No,
she said, on a scale of intimacy, 7, Gil, and 8. I wanted to throw up. And then with the physical, she said same thing, 7, and Gil's like at a 5. And I'm like, 5? You should have been like, I'm at a fucking double negative fucking 0 up in this bitch. The bitch won't even kiss me.
He's in there, though.
Their definition of intimacy is more like how they connect and deal with each other, and maybe that's why it was so high.
It has to be. It has to be, because it ain't what we see.
No,
I do see them having a level of intimacy because they seem to be clicking to me. Even with him saying, he wanted, like, look how happy he was over that kiss. I think they're gonna stay together. I think that Gil, like you've been saying all along, who the fuck else could deal with her? Who would want her? He seems to want her.
Yes.
He seems to be okay with her stink ass attitude.
He is.
He seems to be okay with her turning her nose up on every single thing. And I don't understand why.
Yeah, I don't get it. And I mean, maybe he's just that dude that he's like, you know what? I'm married and I'm gonna see this out for the 8 weeks. We don't know what's gonna happen on decision day, but after this episode, I think that, and the only reason why I'm gonna say this is because when they did that little relationship test where they put their heads together and they were looking at each other and saying stuff or asking questions or what have you, I saw a little bit of intimacy there. Not a whole lot, but I was like, just a little bit where they were clicking and they were looking in each other's eyes. And I'm like, okay, great. I think they're going to make it.
I think so. I see a lot of intimacy there. I don't understand it. He seems to like that. I just don't see her as a nice person.
All I'm going to say, go ahead, Chris.
First of all, that pussy better be fucking amazing. If you're fucking waiting for all this time, you won't give a kiss. You bet when you fuck that dude, you better blow his fucking head off.
I don't think she has to.
And I'm going to say that I'm going to be honest with you to think that that is going to be basic pussy.
Oh, and secondly,
I don't think she has to be anything fantastic. I think if she just lays there and let him enter her, he will be okay.
Because he was so excited when he got with the group and he's like, we kissed. And I was screaming at the TV. I'm like, oh, Lifetime, you better have footage of that shit. And when they showed it, and then they showed it, and they were just in the kitchen, and she just went. I'm like, that's it. And he was so excited about it, and I'm like, so yeah, I get it. When they if they have sex, she will probably give him the most basic ass sex, and he will be 100% okay
and no blowjob
and love her.
And the second thing is, there must have been some traumatic abuse or something that's going on with her for her to be.
I said that from the beginning.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's you can see it more and more and more that she has something must have happened in a relationship or something when she was on that she's never dealt with or something, because she really has unnatural, not unnatural, but anyway, go ahead, Tanya.
I realized this and I know we're going to talk about Jose and Rachel, so we're not going to get into that just yet. But I realized that Myral had some shit, underlying deep-rooted shit, when the girls went out and did that whole destruction shit, thing that they went on. And Rachel was telling them what was going on. And all the rest of the girls were like, huh, what? Say what now? And Myral was just holding her helmet off to the side, and her face looked she was like, yeah, I don't want to I'm not getting into this. And it wasn't like she was being like a snob or an elitist, like, yeah, fuck them bitches, I ain't trying to get in this conversation. She really looked like she was disturbed, like there was something going on that triggered like a past episode with her. That's why she's like, I'm just gonna stay. It's all, again, back to the eyes. I was looking at her eyes, and she clearly looked not hurt, but traumatized by what Rachel was saying. So I think that, yeah, I'm with you, Chris. I think that Myral has some underlying issues, and now that she's kissed Gil, I think that as time goes on, she will open up to him more. She may not want to do it on camera. I think that she's just too proud to put her shit out there. She may come out to him with some stuff, but it will not be on camera.
There has to be I just forgot what I was saying. Sorry. Go ahead.
You forgot what you were saying?
I know the feeling. I know the feeling because I just took my edible too.
The fact that she, I want to know, like when we saw them everyone meet up for their first time together when they brought their friends and family over, and she had those guys come over. Mm-hmm. I don't think she has a girlfriend. I don't think she has a Myral. I don't think she has a girlfriend, like a girlfriend be like, girl, why are you doing, like someone to speak some kind of sense to her that she trusts and she believes and she's with. She's so isolated, it feels, and is mean. Like even when at her bachelorette party, when she had her friends there, I don't even know if those girls were really her friends or just acquaintances or whatever, because she was mean to all of them. She wasn't like, girl, shut the fuck up. You know, so you said, if you pulled some shit like, you know, I'm not doing that. Girl, yes, you are. Shut the fuck up and do this. You know what I'm saying? She didn't have anybody. Everyone was like, you know, okay, she's not going to, Myral is not going to do it. Exactly. And yes. I don't think a real good friend, a real friend, like your girl, your home girl is going to be, that's not like who's like Chris Williams' girl. What's her name last year?
Paige.
When Paige's friend, now her home girl was like, girl. Or even when she was talking to Chris, she's like, that's, you know, why did it? That's her home girl, even though I don't agree with what she's doing, but girl, you know what I mean? I don't think Myral has that.
No, I don't either.
Myral is so isolated and just deals with herself that something happened with her in terms of relationships somewhere along the line where she has maybe she felt abandoned by her father when her father was killed or whatever, or she doesn't have a great relationship with her mother or something. I don't know what's going on, but her relationship aspects are off. And that you can see that in this relationship where she can't even participate in the games.
Yeah.
She didn't participate in the bachelor party. She didn't participate in this smashing thing. I don't do that. What do you do? What the fuck do you do? Oh, you act like a bitch. That's what you fucking. Okay, let me stop.
But it's true. It's true. I think again. I said that too. That something triggered her from way back in her past, and now that you have kind of like expounded on that, I wonder if she was like in a relationship where she was physically abused.
Yes, I think yes, I believe that.
And as far as like, I didn't think about go ahead.
I think growing up, something happened to her, and I think she got in a relationship and something along the lines of physical, whatever, abuse, whatever. There's sexual and physical. I think she's got a whole lot of trauma going on that she's never dealt with. Yeah. I mean, that's just. And mind you, these are all opinions. These are all our opinions. These are what these are nothing about fact. This is what I see.
Just guessing.
I infer from.
No, I agree.
Totally wrong.
And I hope, and to be honest with you, I hope that we're wrong. But we're all seeing this. We can't be the only three that's seeing this.
No, we're not. But one other thing that I did not think about was the girlfriend part. until you just kind of really brought it up, that I wasn't even thinking that, the two guys, the two friends or whatever that came over, and they seemed distant too. Like they didn't know her well. Like I said, I could firmly believe that they were friends with her for 10 years and never saw her be intimate or do any PDA with the guy, because look how she acts and talks and behaves. So I totally see that. You want to
have your girlfriends there? If you're having your first thing with your husband, you would want your
one girlfriend,
your girls there. At least one girl. Remember was it Paige that had the black girl, the big? They've all had like one or two girls, in all these in the past.
If it wasn't the relatives,
or be like siblings, or sisters, or someone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone has her back, or she wants to have anyone have her back. So
Princess home.
Male. So I don't know what's going on with that.
But on another thing, as far as like her girlfriends and their dynamic, I felt like you said, like it was, you could tell that they weren't tight, because at that when they were all getting their makeup and stuff done, and like I don't know, I'm gonna think about that a little bit more. I hadn't thought about the girlfriends, and maybe that's why she wants, like how she was saying to Gil, I want somebody to go to brunch with me every Sunday. That's usually like, I mean, it's great to go with the guy, but it is usually a girlfriend event.
Yes.
Yes.
So maybe she has a whole thing where, well, girls are always jealous of me because so, and give that vibe off of like, well, I don't trust other women because something is wrong. Something is in there because I don't see her, like Rachel. I feel like Rachel has some girlfriends or whatever. People have their own.
Friend. I don't even know her.
Yeah, but people have their own, and even the other girls have used the other girls for support. Myral don't listen to anybody. Myral listens to shit. She don't listen to anybody. She doesn't listen to Pastor Cat. She doesn't listen to anybody. No. Anybody. She won't let anybody in. She'll be like, "Oh no, I'm not doing body shots. I've never done them. I'm not doing them." It's just your fucking husband. It's a fucking exercise.
Do you guys think that when Gil stayed firm and said, if we haven't kissed by the time we get to decision day, I'm not getting married? Do you think that kind of stunned her into doing that kiss?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So it is movement.
And it was just I think she was like, oh, he actually declared it in front of someone else.
He did it to Dr. Cal too, though.
Right. In that safe space. And she said, oh, you'll say you won't get married. You won't get divorced. She said, you won't get divorced. And he's probably like, oh, bitch, I will if you don't fucking show me. He keeps saying you won't show me any kind of intimacy that you even like me. Go, Tanya.
The quote of the motherfucking night was Gil when he said to her, your words hold no substance. That was what made that bitch kiss him. When they were talking to, what's her name? Viviana, whatever.
Dr. Viviana.
Yeah, whatever. Dr. Vivi, yeah. When they were having that conversation and he legit looked her dead ass in her face and was like, your words hold no substance. She was, I think, a little bit taken aback / embarrassed because he called her out in front of someone, the professional. And all of a sudden, now they're in the kitchen and she gives him a peck. I said this from the beginning. Myral needs a dude. Gil is too soft. She can walk all over him. Myral wouldn't act like that if she had a dude that A, had a shit ton of money, and B, looked at her ass and was like, and she said that shit, yeah, whatever when she was like dissing him in the beginning, the first episodes, and he looked at her and was like, bitch, I'm going to need you to slow your roll or else we're going to have a problem here. I bet that bitch would tighten up real quick. But she tightened up when he said, your words hold no substance. He went there. He gave her that dead ass look and it's like, your words hold no substance to me. And she was like, oh, she clutched her pearls like, oh, wait a minute.
It's a combination of him stepping up into his thing and declaring to her, I'm not going to fucking put up with it. I'm really not going to get divorced. and her softening, knowing this motherfucker is trying hard dealing with your ass for 3 fucking weeks and not getting a kiss, and still in it. Gil has still been in it. So she sees him, and now she's softening because I think she's starting to feel for him more because he's been so patient. So between him stepping up, his manliness, and her softening up a little bit, she's like, I need to do something. And if it's just a kiss, that's what I can get. That's enough I can give him.
Yep, I agree. So what did we give them? I can't remember what we gave them.
I left my scorecard last week. It was low. All right,
so just write it down.
Low last week.
Yeah, it was low last week. So right now, I'm going to give them an 85. I'm not going up to Johnny and Bao, but I'm gonna give them an 85 because I really, unless something major happens within the next couple of weeks, which I'm sure it will, and it's gonna be what a difference a week makes. Right this week, I'm giving them an 85. I think they'll make it.
Nita,
I'm gonna still stick at 75. I was in the 70s last week. I'm gonna still stick at 75 because I just don't see Gil. I'm still on the fence about how much he's going to, and I hate to use this term, man up, but I just need him to check her on her ugly behavior. Yes. And think about it. I want him to show that he wants more than somebody that's going to turn up their nose at every single thing. And I don't see that from him yet. I feel him just going with the flow. And I do think that they get along well. I mean, he seems to be able to bring out some type of laughter in her, some sort of like, a little bit of joy. It's not joy that I can connect with, but there is some joy there.
I like the banter. Like they have their little banter when she gets on her high horse with her, like, whatever. He comes back with something cute. Or like gives her a little jab. It's like they go back and forth. It's like a tit for tat with them two. Again, I'm too old for that shit. So for me, it's not attractive. But again, we're dealing with 35-year-olds. I'm been there, done that. I'm not doing that tit for tat anymore. Go ahead, boo-boo.
I'm saying 50-50. The reason why I'm saying half in, half out, because I don't know. Because either he's going to, is the kiss going to be enough for him to make him feel like she really wants him? Or is she going to start stepping up her game and be like, look, I want to be in this marriage? Because now we're in the last couple of weeks of like, do you want to be together or you not want to be together? I think she's been holding out on, well, if I don't even kiss him, I can get out of this marriage and be like, you know what? I didn't fucking soil myself. I didn't sleep with the dude. I just have to deal with him for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
I think she's still in that mindset of like, I don't know if I really want to do it. I don't know if I really want to do it. But she's been long enough with him knowing that he's working hard at it. And now he's like, and him, it's like, if I don't feel more more of like, you want me, or you're going to, because all this other shit, he's got to feel that. And she's got to be like, give more. So and she may not say yes either. She may still be down the middle because she hasn't given up anything yet. She hasn't even given up a kiss. Slept in the bed in pajamas, doesn't touch. They don't even fondle. They barely hug, even though they did that intimacy thing where she's laying on him. But you don't see her laying on him, or you know what I mean? It was only because of the thing. I think she's 50-50 now too. She used to be, I'm not attracted to him. He's cheap. I'm 25. Now she's creeping up to 45, 50 for her son. And now I think she's going, she's back and forth. He has always been like, I'm starting at 80. I'm working. And then more, she hasn't kissed him 65. He's still in it though, 60. So I think it's like right in the middle of 50, 55. You know what I mean? Maybe.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, because again, the eyes, the way that she looks at him, I'm not saying that she's not attracted to him and doesn't want to be with him, but I'm thinking that the way that she looks at him and when he's talking to her and her facial expressions to him, I'm thinking that she's kind of the butter is a little melting, just a little bit. Just
I think so.
I think the butter is melting. I don't know if she's going to say I do or say stay married or divorced in 8 weeks, but I'm gonna stick with my 85. I think that she may be playing her position, like you said, Chris. She 85? May be playing her position. Yes, I'm gonna give her 85 because she may be playing her position in that if it doesn't work, because she's been so distant with him, hasn't had sex with him, hasn't kissed him, that if he says I don't want to be married anymore, right. now her IG is going through the roof. And every man in America is going to want to try to holler at her. I mean, she's probably looking at it for the likes of the IG and the followers and stuff. But I kind of think that she's going to stay with him.
I don't think she
right now, 85.
I don't think she really cares about that kind of attention because anybody else. Anybody else, she doesn't care about what anybody else really seems to say. Or say you should do this. I don't want to do that. I think she's so about herself. She doesn't really is not influenced by anybody else.
I think she cares about the IG likes and the social media stuff because every time you see her, she's always on her phone. She's always on her phone.
She only has 3,000 followers
for now. For now, we don't know what's going to happen. Usually, their followers blow up after decision day. Whether they've made it or not.
I don't know. Chris Williams.
Yeah, I don't really see her as a social media person either. She really doesn't have the personality for it. And she doesn't seem to want to put the work, because that's a lot of work. She doesn't seem to want to put that much work and effort into it. What I see, I do agree with your 85. I'm just not willing to go that high because I see that because I really do see her really liking him. I see the way she looks at him, and even when he's not looking at her face she's into him. I think she is. I see attraction there. I see her following. And like a lot of with her because I think it could be. I mean, we still have, some weeks to go, but as far as like the last few weeks, I've seen her grow more towards him than away from him. And I feel like when he made that proclamation again about if I don't have a kiss by that time, because he said it with Dr. Cal, he was very firm then. He was very firm this time. I think she said, oh, he's serious about that one.
Right. And if I want to have any chance of saying whatever, right.
Yep.
But I think also she's also saying too, like in that same conversation with Dr. Viviana, she was just like, it takes a while for me to get to that intimate point for a kiss. And like you said, there probably was something very tragic that happened to her as a child and in her relationship as an adult. And for her to even give him that peck, I'm sensing, from my point of view, I'm sensing that is her step towards intimacy with him. It's a pack. Yeah. It is nothing for everybody else, but it is for her.
It's going from 15% to now 35%.
I see the 85. I really do.
I'm giving him 85. I'm going to stick to the 85. Wow. Yep. Yeah. For now.
All right. Let's jump into Brett and Ryan.
Oh Lord, Brett is just not into you, bitch. Just
keep
moving.
He went away for 3 days.
You mean Ryan is not into Brett?
Right.
Oh, that's right. Ryan isn't. I can't. It confuses me with these two men.
He went away for 3 days, right?
He did.
Yeah, he went back to his home to think about after the conversation with Dr. Viviana
to get some pussy from an old girlfriend.
That's what I was saying to you. He went home for 3 days, came back. She cooked him dinner, and then he's like, "Oh, I just needed those 3 days." And I'm like, "You needed those 3 days to get your fucking dick wet." Go on a couple of dates, hang out with your homies, and vent about the fact that I ain't feeling this bitch. Period. End of story. I'm telling you, I don't even want. Let me look at my notes real quick.
3 days.
I think all I'm gonna say
waiting
is
for the spark.
Go ahead. I think Ryan and Brett would make good friends, not lovers, not spouses. They'd probably be ace boon coons, buddies, or pals, but they're just not meant to be together. He is just not feeling her
at all.
He's
At
stuck. He's stuck on a Daisy Duke type. You know, he wants a certain body type. He wants a blonde or a brunette, and like a Daisy Duke, a caricature of like probably all the women that he has dated before.
And that's what his family and friends have been saying. The red flags have all been there from the moment the show started. All of his friends, his family is like, he has a type. He has a type. He has a type. And he falls in love immediately. And the type is a petite, Texas, blonde, blue-eyed, typical Texas woman. And
but how do you fall in love immediately and you dated supposedly
his
all
sister
these
said
women?
it. His sister said it when his sister came to the housewarming or whatever that they had, that the sister was
in love
there.
easily, and he admitted
So
the
he
sister-
falls in love like in a week with one girl, and then is in love with another girl the next week, obviously.
So for me, my brain set is I can meet a man or marry him. Well, I wouldn't marry at first sight, but I could meet a man. He could blow hard me, all this shit. But when I get around his family, if his sister or his mother or father looks at me and says, "Oh, he falls in love. He can meet a girl on Monday and be in love on Tuesday. He falls in love like that." That to me is a red flag, because you don't fall in love that easily. You can be enamored with a person and their personality and how they carry themselves and how they look. You can be enamored with them, but falling in love is a whole different nut. And that maybe that's just because my views on love as opposed to other people's views on love. People can love somebody because they fucking sweep the floor or take the trash out or wash the dishes or suck a dick. I just fall in love because I love you as a person.
He's really superficial. There's really not a lot of depth I see in him. Like you said, you always go on about the eyes. He has very little personality. I can't imagine how he dated all these women, because he seems like such a dud. But maybe with the right woman, he comes alive. He's a little bit more animated because he's trying to impress her. And obviously it's not. And I really feel bad for Brett, because she really wants to be all in. She's attracted to him. Yeah. And it's very hurtful knowing as a woman that the person that you're attracted to does not find you attractive.
Exactly. So just say it. Like when I thought, remember last week when I said, I don't think they're going to even make it to decision day. I think that Brett is going to just bow out. And I was like, I think that Pastor Cal needs to come in and sit with him one-on-one. But it ended up being, what's her name? What's that bitch's name again?
Dr. Viviana.
Dr. Viviana. I don't like her. That's why I don't remember her name. But it took Dr. Viviana, and I credit her on this, where she sensed something was off. And when Brett was getting all emotional, and she's like, why don't we have this conversation? And Ryan immediately was like, yes, I think it would be great for us to have this conversation one-on-one. It was that, and Brett got up and walked away. And it was at that moment that I was like, oh, it's coming. Ryan's going to tell Dr. Viviana, she's a great girl. We could be friends, but I just can't be married. I thought that this episode was good. When you guys were texting me about the, oh my God, I was like, I thought that was it. That was the moment. I thought that was the moment that Ryan was going to say to Dr. Viviana, I love her as a human being. We'll probably be the best of friends. We can hang out and do whatever, but I just don't want to be her husband. Nope. And I don't want her to be my wife. And I'm bowing out respectfully and gracefully, and let's friggin' bring her back so I can tell her in front of you and in this camera that I'm out. And when it didn't happen, I was like, oh, gut bunch. Oh, what the fuck? I'm like, dude, you don't love her. You ain't going to love her. And it's never going to
like her. He's not attracted to her at all.
Here's why I say my last week's prediction isn't changing. I'm going to stick to whatever I said last week.
I think it was something like 0.
Yeah, 0. And I said on top of that, I don't think they'll make it to decision day. I'm sticking to that. They're not going to make it to decision day.
Yeah, they're at a 35 because if he was attracted to her, they would have had sex by now because she would have opened up a little bit more. I mean, if he was attracted to her, they would have had sex by now. But she's like, she's holding on to. She hasn't had sex in 2.5 years, so it's more special to her, and she wants to feel wanted. You don't make her feel wanted.
No, he doesn't.
Don't make her feel wanted, and he doesn't mean he's like, yeah, we're friends, and he's kind of like, and she's also been gassing him up like. And trying to be the person for him that he wants to be. And I'm your biggest cheerleader. And he's like, yeah, I like you. She's great.
Yeah, that is cringeworthy when I see that.
One of the things I like about you is that you're muscles and you're this, that, and the other, and you're nice and you're kind. He's like, yeah, I like you too.
Well, remember last week? Let's go back to last week when they did that game. And she had the Jenga and she had all the cards and she's like, oh, as you know, if you pull a Jenga out and you make it, I'm going to pull one of my index cards and tell you what I like about you. And she must have had like 35 fucking cards in that fucking Ziploc bag. And he looked at it and he's like, that's everything you like about me? And she's like, yes. And he was like, in his head, I'm saying, and I'm yelling at the TV. I'm like, yep, because you couldn't even form on one fucking card what you like about her.
Yeah, it's sad. I feel for her. All right, let's move on because time is.
So I give them that they're not going to make it to decision day. He's going to I'm hoping that he mans up and just takes himself out of this equation, or she takes. I wouldn't even be surprised if she took herself out of the equation.
25%.
25. Okay,
I give him a 0.
I'm just going with the 30. I'm
still at a 0 and not making it to 8 weeks.
Okay. Michaela and Zack, because we're holding the best for last, and we already spent a lot of time on other folks, but Michaela.
Let's get through Michaela and Zack real quick.
Well, just go, just let it be authentic. You gotta rush it. But my thing with Zack is I'm really tired of his whining. The whole crying thing is she trying? Is she trying to hold in some of her crazy? Yes, I think she is. And to be constantly reminded of something, you're either going to let it go or walk away. That, browbeating somebody over something that happened after they apologize or whatever. I just let it go, Zack. And that whole breakdown, I just didn't even understand it so much.
It all comes down to the fact that if he was 35 and she was 30,
okay,
it would work out. It would be perfect. He's 28 or 28. He is not mature enough to understand how to handle her, how to handle himself, and not have these delusions of my marriage is going to be so perfect, and this and the other is just going to happen. It's going to work. All I have to do is love her. We can figure. We'll have problems, but this and the other. No. You got to fucking work, dude.
Yeah.
With this woman, you got to fucking work. And are you ready to work? Because you didn't choose her. If he chose her, he would be working harder than he is. But he's like, God damn, I got to work hard, and I got to work hard with this. And I already don't like how she acts. I've already seen her act crazy. All I need to see her act crazy once or 2 times. And I'm like, oh, no, she's crazy. He has to understand that, no. He has to handle that crazy or know how to do it. And if he was older and mature, he's too immature and she's too crazy to not have someone older than her handle her.
Can I ask a question now? Because on that note, if I saw somebody who behaved like her and how she chose to react to those situations, I'm just going to say, like, to me, that's a red flag. It's going to stay in the back of my head. I'm going to be waiting. I don't blame him for being cautious on her. She earned that to me. I mean, the way, and I get that she's saying that, the only reason I acted or behaved this way was because of what you did. But no, that was your choice to behave that way. You had a choice. I see you, Tanya. I'm 2 seconds. Right.
Good thing. I'm just
so I get what he's saying. So if that's not for you and you can't get over it, but I also agree with what you're saying about his fantasy thing is that he doesn't know how to work with anything. And maybe he could get to a point where he could work with her. But for me, her behavior is a big red flag. Go, Tanya.
Okay. So, number one, because I took a lot of notes. I can't believe the number of notes I had on Zack and Michaela.
Okay.
So, Zack, he fucked up. Zack is like the fucking Slinky. It's like, Slinky, I'm good. Slinky, I fucked up. There's no in between with Zack. Zack is going to try to call Michaela out on all her shit. But then again, he fucked up when he stood up Michaela. We're going to go to the movies, or I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And then we're going to go to the movies, or I'm going to bring the movies to you. And then he gets to his house and then calls her and says, yeah, I think I'm just going to stay home. That's not a good look, Zack.
That's not cool at all.
Not cool at all. And then when he got to her and is trying to explain it to her, she is literally, it pained me because she doesn't want to be deemed as the angry. I'm not speaking for her, but it's like she was like, I don't want to be deemed as this angry Black woman and losing my shit. So I'm just gonna sit here. But her eyes and her face says it all, because I felt her pain, because my emotions are all on my face all the time, and she's just looking at him like, and what? And it's like, what the fuck now? Hello, the fuck? He was full of shit on that one. He did her dirty on that. Number two. When he said, I'm scarred, and then he's sitting at the table all crying like a bitch, I'm scarred. He's scarred because she fucking went off on him one time. She showed her ass.
No, it was twice.
Okay, twice. But she showed her ass. But again,
we've seen.
Yeah.
Twice that we've seen. So if they show it twice, it's even more. Go, Tanya.
But I'm saying, I don't know if Lifetime would do that. I think Lifetime would, if she showed her ass more than twice, they'd show that shit just for shits and giggles and views. But they showed twice. Yes, she showed her ass. But for him to sit there and say and cry like a baby, I'm just scarred. How the fuck are you scarred at somebody that you've only known for fucking 20 days, 23 days? No, that's the wrong word to use, bro. Scarred is fucking years of shit that you had to deal with. You're not scarred.
What's scarred is his idea of what he thought the marriage was going to be. That's what's scarring him. And it is his own scar of like, no, but it's supposed to be like this. No, but it's supposed to be like this. And it's not that, but it's supposed to be like this. Why isn't it like this? That's his problem. So him crying is over his own interpretation of what he thinks the marriage is supposed to be and what his wife is supposed to be, as opposed to his wife is a Black woman and a human being. And she got a lot of fucking issues too. And so if you're going to deal with someone like that, you got to be like, okay, well, now all that ideal shit is out the fucking window. This is what I have to deal with. And going back to what you said about, he fucked up about not stepping up. That is an instance of him like, okay, I have to go above and beyond what I would normally or want to do and force myself to be a husband. Force myself to make sure that my wife does not feel rejected because I've rejected her before. So let me get in my head. Oh, fuck, I really don't want to fucking leave my house. I don't really want to see her, but I'm kind of doing it. I made the date up, but you got to do it, dude. You got to do it. He fucked up on that. And that's a young person's thing that doesn't realize what it's going to take to have a successful marriage.
And I'm only going to say this because I've said it before, but I'm just going to add this. I don't think any woman any woman that they paired Zack up with would have sufficed, because Zack is that rare. Zack is that unicorn. Like, it's mostly women that, that are like, I just want the pomp and circumstance. I want to walk down the aisle with my family and my friends there, and all eyes on me with my gown on, and get married. They want to just have the ceremony, but they ain't thinking about the marriage. Zack is that dude. Zack was that dude. Like, I've been dreaming about this all my life. Really? Like, because I'm thinking about other things I've been dreaming about, and marriage ain't even in the top fucking 15, even when I was young. And so I'm like, he's always like, I just wanted to be married. He wanted everything to be perfect. I don't think it's Michaela. I think it's Zack, because it doesn't matter who they paired Zack up with. If they posed a problem or critiqued Zack or was upset with Zack in any way, Zack would be like, I'm checking out. This wasn't what I signed up for. This wasn't my idea of marriage. It's not.
I don't think I can say
it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I couldn't say that it's Zack and not her. I'm sorry. The way she behaved, it was totally out of pocket. I mean, that to me, that just showed a lot of anger issues that really need to be dealt with. That maybe he doesn't know what a healthy relationship is with a man, maybe not even a woman, maybe even her friends, to react that way. Now, her being hurt about the movie night, I'm 100% on that with her. I had totally forgot about it till you said that, but it was, I mean, really, how much effort would it have taken Zack to just go back to her place? It's really your place, because you all live, that's supposed to be your marriage apartment now.
Yeah.
Go back there and be like, once you get there, be like, you know what? Maybe movie not tonight. Maybe we'll just go to sleep, or, and if he didn't want to sleep with her, sleep on it. But be there, be present, be there when she wakes up in the morning. How fucking dare you go all the way home and then be like, I don't think I could, make it back. I think I'm going to stay. That show, what are you, 12? 12? What is it, past your bedtime? Make the effort, sir. Make the effort.
Okay, because on that, as a woman, when he said that, my brain was, I'm personalizing this, because I'm like, all right, I'm at home with this guy that I share this.
Your husband,
excuse me. And it's like, he's going to go to his home to do whatever and come back. The whole time that from the moment he walks out the door, my brain is, I'm going to take me a shower. Even if I'm clean, I'm still going to take me another shower. I'm going to find a cute little outfit. I'm going to do my hair, refresh my makeup. I'm going to do all that. And I'm going to sit here. I might get some snacks together, or a charcuterie board together, pop a bottle of champagne or some wine and make some drinks. I'm going to do the most. And the fact that he was like, I think I'm just going to stay home. That shit would fuck me up. And I get that, because
I would be hurt.
Personally, I've had that happen. Personally.
I would
So
definitely. I think everybody has had somebody fucking play them like that.
Oh yeah, women. We are of a certain age, so we've got these stories. But I feel her that she was upset about that. But
and I will give her the point that she, after he called her and told her he wasn't coming, she called him back and let him know, I'm hurt by this. And then you know what he should have did? And he was like, we talked it out. No, you should have talked it out on the phone in the car while you was going back to the apartment, you dumbass.
But as I said, he doesn't know what marriage takes.
That's right.
He doesn't know what a marriage takes. It's not the fantasy fucking bullshit like I'm talking about, like I've been married before. But this is my head.
But we know that much.
But we know the fucking, it takes work to do things you don't want to do to make sure that your mate is happy.
Thank you.
And he can't, if he was older, he could grasp that more. He hasn't grasped that.
No.
And he might not ever come out of that fantasy.
He's too young. He doesn't know. He's too in his head.
He is too in his head. He's too in his head.
And she needs someone to be like, a couple different things. She needs someone to be like, stop that. Don't do that anymore. Okay, I won't. And also, come here. Let me hug you. It's gonna be okay.
That's exactly what she needs.
But don't fucking do that shit. Okay. No, but I'm here. I'm gonna be with you. It's okay. I'm not going anywhere, even though it's hard. She has abandonment issues.
And that's me. And that's why I relate to her, because I am that bitch. You just said that shit, and I literally popped a boner that I don't have. When you were like, hey, I'm going to need you. Watch that shit. Watch your mouth. But, hey, girl, let me give you a hug. I love you.
I know you need this.
I need you need this. That's right. That's me.
She needs that. She needs someone who loves her and is loving to her and this and the other, but is also going to keep her in fucking line when she steps out of line and starts acting motherfucking crazy.
She definitely needs that affirmation from him, and he's just an idiot.
Older man thing. That's why she needs an older man than her. 35, 40.
And it's a daddy issues thing, because y'all two already know we've had many a conversation. I got daddy issues for fucking lifetime. So that shit you said fucking hit me right in the heart, the chest, because that's exactly why I'm not in a relationship. Because if I find that guy, I'm all for that. Shut your mouth.
What do we give them as percentages?
I can't remember what I gave them. Oh, wait. I thought that they were like Brett and Ryan. I gave them a 0, and I thought that those two weren't going to make it to the decision day, and I'm going to stick to that.
To a 0?
Yep. I don't think they're going to make it to decision day.
I'm giving them. I think she has turned the corner in terms of trying to check herself and working hard at it. Mm-hmm. She's really working because I think she does want it. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give her on her side. She's a 60. She's 65. She wants it. He is too much in his head. He wants the idea of it, but doesn't want her. He's at a 35, and it's going to be for the both of them. I would say 40.
Okay, 40.
40.
I gave them a 30, basically for the same reasons. The only reason I gave them a 30 is because I know she wants it, and I think she's trying, but I think he is way too much in his head, and I think he's just and it really turned me off what he did. It just shows the lack of maturity. He just really turned me off, not going back to the apartment.
And I wonder how the sex is going too.
Because I don't think they're having sex anymore.
They're having sex anymore.
I don't think so. Anymore.
Because if they were having sex, he would have gone back home.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be talking all that smack and all that shit. He wouldn't be all crying at the table. Please believe me. I just got one more thing before we get to the motherfucking epic finale. I got a lot of text from friends of ours, mine, but friends of ours that watch our podcast and watch us when they texted me are those boogers in Michaela's nose or is it a nose ring? And I had to pause several times, and 1 minute I thought it was a nose ring, and then the next minute I'm like, but I don't see a stud or anything. But
it's embedded in there. It's one of those ones that you can't really see. It's the dot.
Okay. So it's a nose ring. So we're gonna go with the nose ring, and I'm done. Thank you.
I didn't even notice. So Rachel,
let me get up right now.
Lord, can I just ask one question before we go into it?
Go.
Let's get into it.
Was anybody surprised that he behaved the way he did?
No.
Oh, okay.
Were you surprised?
No. I think I think a lot of people were surprised. When I read, because I was on Twitter that night, going back and forth with people live at that time, and people were really surprised that he showed his true colors. But we had been saying from the beginning, there is something off. You all were saying he's gay. I'm still not 100% on that, but the whole Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing, God, go Tanya. You go first, girl.
Here's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I forever, as long as I've become an adult, I am very distrusting of couples, not people, or maybe people, but we're good on the couples thing. Whatever. I'm very distrusting of couples that sit here and say, everything's wonderful. Happy wife, happy life. I love her. I love him. We have the perfect relationship. And they get around the family and friends groups, and they're just all like, oh my God, I popped a zit today. I'm going to tongue you down. Oh my God, I took a good shit this morning. Oh my God, kiss me. I woke up healthy. Oh, kiss me. Their shit, I was really red flagging them. I liked them, but I started red flagging them when I was like, their shit's way too perfect. And they keep talking about it, how perfect it is. And I'm like, I don't trust people that say that shit's perfect. And I'm done.
Rachel was not saying it was perfect though. And that was the one thing that I did like about her. She might have, I mean, I didn't notice how she was kind of braggy about, like, you know, they just fit together or whatever.
Yep.
But in her what do you call them when they're by themselves, her confessionals?
Oh, the confessional.
She spoke about issues. And one of the things because I was always fearful that she would just fall into his trap, or, you know, immediately just started just, you know what, make excuses. I said that last week, that I saw her making excuses for his behavior.
Yes, you did.
I commend her so hard this week when she said, you will not speak to me this way. My parents did not raise me to have some man talk to me this way. I was like, she had a sister girl moment. Kiss my motherfucking ass. I don't know who you think you are, but I am not that one. I would love her.
It is a take it to church moment. I'll believe you.
Girl, that is no, stop.
Right.
I'm sorry, I had to stop.
Okay, so first of all, he's looking for an excuse because she's not who he wants. He wants someone who's going to do what he says and be happy about it. She, on the other hand, wants the marriage and wants to be with someone and wants to be with someone if he would, but she ain't taking that shit, and good for her. I'm glad she's stepped up for herself, because that maybe she learned that from her last relationship that she got fucked around on. She said, this time, I'm not going to let a motherfucker talk to me like that and let someone do that. I think he's looking for an excuse to get out of it, because it was way too easy for him to say, get the fuck out then. Oh, do you need boxes? I'll help you.
I don't think.
In front of the producer. Imagine what he would say if the producer wasn't there.
Exactly. I don't think that he's looking for an excuse. I'm sorry, Tanya. I know you. I don't think he's looking for an excuse I don't think he's looking for an excuse to be out of it. I think he was in it. And I think he thought that with most women, I think he believes that he can turn them her way. But when he saw her be combative with him, because really, I mean, let me ask a question. I mean, they've only been known each other for how many days, Tanya? You said 23 something days?
23 days.
23 days. How do you expect her not to call you somebody else's fucking name?
Johnny.
That happens.
Johnny. It was Johnny.
And it was Johnny.
And it was,
shit happened.
I thought it was they were fucking and she said something.
That's what I thought.
But if they were the fucking, but the him looking for something, why are you harping about her fucking 8 years ago cheating on someone and when they went to the bar, and then you're like, well, I don't know if I can really trust her. She didn't have to say shit to you. She didn't have to say shit because it's so far in the past. You keep bringing that shit up. It's like, what is your problem, dude? I'm not going to, well, how do I know that you're not going to go out with your girlfriends? If she said, I did it all the time, or I cheated more than once, she said 8 years ago, I did this and I admit it. He's still bringing that shit up. He's looking for things. He's looking for things. And this for you to get the fuck out. He's looking. He doesn't want to be in it. He just wants to find someone who's going to listen to him and he can suck his dick. That's what he's looking for. He just want to suck someone's dick. And she doesn't have a dick.
Go, Tanya.
I agree with you on that one because we've all come to the conclusion, and I think the
No,
whole
I'm still
United
not on
States
there
has come
yet.
to the conclusion
Go
that he's
ahead.
gay. But, huh?
I said I'm still not with that one yet. Go.
All right, I'm on that. But what triggered me the most about it is that he was so quick. Again, red flag. My red flag. My radar goes up when people are like, I love him, he loves me. You know, happy wife, happy life. And then the first thing, how do you say I love you? The two of them said I love you so quick to each other last week, and they were so happy. And then all of a sudden, how do you tell a man that you really truly are in love with, I love you? And then if he calls me by another woman's name or I call him by another man's name, if I truly love you, like I told you, I'm in love with you. Yeah, I might be a little hurt, but I'm going to talk to you about it.
Hurt by what?
Wait, we'll get to the whole Johnny thing because that shit came out at the end because Jose showed his whole natural ass the whole time and had our asses in the United States fucking like, oh, yo, when he was like, and she's like, you will not talk to me like that. And he's like, you know, making his food and drinking his drink. And he's looking like, well, get your shit and bounce. And I thought that was just sassy on him or just
how about him locking her out of the apartment? He locked her out. That's some fuck.
And he knew where she
and
was
then
going.
didn't admit it.
That whole thing, yes, that whole thing was shady when he was telling the guys what was going on.
When he was
And then
lying to the guys.
Basically lying.
Blatantly.
And she was being honest with the girls. Telling the girls what was going on.
She wasn't wrong about shit. That's why
she wasn't. And he's sitting there telling the story, and I'm like, okay, this is a TV thing. My brain is trying to get to the fact that this is at the end of the day, it's entertainment. But these are real people's lives. But of course, these networks have to, you know, make it like entertainment. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, these guys got to know something. And when Gil was calling him out, and he's like, there's got to be more to it. And Johnny and everybody was going. And then when Ryan pulled his card, he was like, it's going to come out because it's on. We're recording this shit. Because you know they got video of that shit of Rachel calling Jose Johnny.
To see a person lying out of his ass, getting caught in the moment of lying out of his ass when the brothers were like, who are usually will back you up, going, dude,
That don't sound right.
It don't sound right.
Really? Yeah. Well, she he was like this, and and she was up there like everything was okay, and they're like, dude, you
never mentioned. And then like the whole I accidentally locked her out, and then everybody's like, how do you accidentally deadbolt somebody out the house?
Well, you don't.
And he was so pompous about it. The way that he was talking when he first started with him, he was so pompous and self-righteous. And I don't like people like that. And he was like, oh yeah, she called me out my name and called me another man's name. And he's like puffing out his chest and his arching his shoulder. And he's like, oh yeah. And waiting for the dudes to be like, oh yeah, I'm with you. And I was so happy that all of them called him out.
And you can see his facial expression.
You saw when Ryan said, it's gonna come out, dude. But she called you Johnny.
You didn't watch. They had a thing with Jamie. They interviewed the three of them, the three dudes.
No, I don't watch that because it's too much for me.
And they called him. They watched it together.
And they called him out again?
They called him out again, and he admitted it finally.
Well, I gotta watch that. I'm gonna watch that tonight. Then I'll watch it tonight.
You got to see that part, but he finally admitted it again. But the dudes were like, "No, dude, you fucking, you're lying or this and the other." They called him out in the interview.
But the best part for me, after all that drama that went down with Rachel and Jose, and I literally want to be Rachel's new BFF, and we got to move heaven and earth to get her ass on this podcast and talk about this shit. But I love the fact that she was like, You're not going to talk to me that way, and I don't want to be your wife anymore. And then when she was with the girls and he was with the guys, and he's like, and so I think I forgot who asked him. I think it might have been Gil or whoever asked him, do you still love her? And he's like, of course I still love her. I sent her a text this morning talking about I love you. And then it went back, flashback to the girls, and she's like, yeah, I'm not in love with him no more. And I was like, yay! Yep. Fuck his ass.
Yeah.
Fuck that Jose. Fuck Jose. I'm done.
She has way more self-respect, and I hope that continues. I was so impressed by her. And then when she came, and another reason that I'm really impressed by her is that when she gave him that letter, and that had wrote a couple of weeks ago about how she was feeling about it, and then he tried to attack her on that, like, well, why didn't you tell me this or whatever? She had been telling you this all along and working with you, and then you went. The thing is that what Jose did, like when she was saying that she was going to leave, he was really trying to hurt her. He wanted to, and that was what pissed him off so much. That's why he was like, "Go, I'll help you with the boxes," because he wanted to destroy her. And I really thought at the very beginning of the show, remember I said on some of the first episodes of our podcast that I was afraid that he was the type of person that could destroy her. And she stood up for herself.
Classic abuser.
He is. I bet you go back and interview some of the women that he's dated. There's so much emotional abuse there. I mean, there's nothing that tells me that he doesn't try and really ground the woman into the ground to make them feel away. But he was all like, oh, let me help you. Need any help? Still eating and cutting his food like a real fucking asshole.
Yeah, he was a real asshole.
Real fucking
asshole. It was like sadistic type because he was like, he was trying to talk to him and she's trying to, lay her case. And he was just like at the stove, turning around, pouring his drink, having a drink, all teeth. That's what disturbed me the most. He looked at him, he's like, okay. You bounce, bitch. Get out. You want me to help you pack? You want me to get some boxes? I was like, oh my God, who does that? What man does that?
Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. It's like, get the fuck out.
Yeah. And you know how I always say, like, if you are in a relationship, if you're angry, try and leave the curse word out because it makes it sound so much harsher. And if you love that person, you try and and I know sometimes it happens, it slips or whatever, but maybe if you be a little bit more apologetic afterwards, he moved no ground at all. He's a horrible person. I think if I had to pick between him and Chris Williams from last season, it would be him.
I'm giving them a 0 too. There's nothing he can do right now. And then when it came out, when Ryan said, it's going to come out. She called you Johnny. He literally had a whole ass hissy fit over the fact that she called you Johnny, your friend, in your group. It's one thing,
What were they on the rooftop hanging out together?
They were all on the rooftop having drinks.
They initially implied that it was like during a moment of intimacy or sex, and that's how he did. And he did, yes, but how Lifetime also set it up, whatever, was like, oh, he's like, well, yeah, she called me someone else's name, so I was like, oh shit, well, and she's like, well, I apologize for it. She shouldn't have to even fucking. So when she apologized for it, she shouldn't even have to apologize for that. She'd be like, you know what, fuck you. I mean. And called her Johnny, Johnny, I mean, Jose, babe, or whatever. That's probably how it happened.
Exactly.
So he that's what I'm saying, but he's looking for something to make it the way he wants it, or he's looking at.
And he made it more than what it was. It happened. It is what it is. She called him Johnny.
I think that's who he is.
I don't care. But that is who he is, because when he showed his whole ass in the kitchen when he was cooking, and she's trying to have a conversation with him, and he's just like, yeah, whatever, bitch. Basically, it was like, bitch, whatever.
Dismissive.
Get on.
Dismissive.
Get on.
So disrespectful.
Yeah. I give them.
Oh, you need help with the boxes?
Yeah.
Disrespectful. But
and
this is the person.
And then on video, deadbolting the door. When he said, I didn't do that, it was an accident. And it's clearly on video, and all of them are like, really? Would you really accidentally deadbolt a door?
Shahida, what are you saying?
When you knew that she just went out to take the producer down to her car. It's not even like, he was like, I didn't know where you went.
I don't know where she went.
With no purse. Nothing, none of her personal items, but you gonna sit up there and say you didn't know where she went,
and then went to sleep.
And his fucking ass wasn't asleep.
No, went to sleep after deadbolting the door and shut the lights off. Like he deadbolted the door, flipped the lights down.
She could be out there fucking somebody else, like she did with the other person. Dude, really? He's an asshole.
He's an asshole.
Just gonna come out. When I can't wait for this. This is gonna be good. Like reunion recap when they're all watching one of these motherfuckers. They're all gonna be like, "Yo, dude, you can't." Dude. I can't wait to see when it gets real between like someone's gonna call like Myral out on some shit. You know what I mean? And then Jose's gonna cut out on shit but as far as I'm concerned, they ain't gonna last. They're at 10%, unless Jose does some shit, be like, you know what? I'm really sorry. And really falls on his sword, which I don't think he's gonna do. But to say to her, I'm really sorry, I fucked up, this, that, and the other. He can't do that. He's too self-involved. He won't do that. So it's at 10% for me.
I'm gonna agree with you, Chris, and I'm just gonna, piggyback on you and give him a 10 because I don't want to do. I already got 2 couples at 0 and not making it to decision day, so I'm gonna give them that 10%.
What did you say, Chris?
10.
You said 10?
Yeah. I'm giving them 10. I'm with Chris on this one.
They ain't gonna make it. But
I don't know about decision day.
If
for them too, it might be up on the air. But
if he falls on his sword. And it's like, look, I fucked up. I'm sorry. I was rude to you. I shouldn't have talked to you like that. You're right. I'm wrong. Let's try to make this work. I do care about you. I do respect you. I'm sorry for that whole situation. Then they would have a chance. He's not going to do that. That's the only way it can happen.
So I could see him maybe coming back and apologizing. But my thing is, get the fuck out. Just get the fuck out. Just that over a name, that over the most trivial thing. Get the fuck out. Locking the fucking door. Anything could have happened to her. Nobody else answered their doors. You saw her going around knocking on doors. Nobody opened their door. She had to end up calling a friend. Thank God she had her phone. She should have called the producer and made his ass open up that door. Those 2 things definitely, I was going to say those 2 things, and definitely the locking the door. That's an absolute, I can't come back from that one. No, I can't come back. If we were married for 10 years and you did that shit during an argument, I'm pissed. But we got 10 years in. That's 23 damn days. If you did that in 23 damn days, I don't know what you'll do, what you'll be capable of 23 more days from now. Fuck you.
23 years.
No, I agree.
I think that's the only way. There's some kind, there could be a chance just because she wants it really badly. She was all gaga goo goo. It's all perfect, but I'm working. He has got to be like, look, he's got to fall on his sword and say, look, I am totally, he's not going to do that. He can't do it.
And I don't want him to. Stay true to yourself, bitch.
I agree. I don't want him to, but I'm going to say this. I think that, I hope that, well, not hope. But I think that next week he's going to fall on his sword. But he's going to need to bring his daddy into the picture. He's going to have to bring people into the picture to convince her to stay. Otherwise, it ain't going to work. It ain't going to work.
I don't think he's going to fall on his sword. I think he'll apologize, but I'm talking about he needs to grovel and ask for forgiveness. He'll apologize for, I was wrong. I shouldn't have said that. It's everything fine. That's what happens sometimes. That's how he's going to play it off.
Exactly.
That's how he's like,
dismissive.
Okay. Because he's caught. He was fucking caught by his dudes, by everybody. Everyone's like, that's fucked up, dude.
Right.
That's fucked up. You know what I mean? And everyone's calling him. He's going to be like, you know what? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, you're right. Probably this and the other. But he's going to play it off like it's some, it's whatever.
Everybody does it.
He's got to be like, look, get on his knees and be like, if he really wants this, he's got to say, hey, I'm really, really sorry. I really fucked up. He can't do it. He's not going to do that. He's too stubborn.
Yeah.
Too stubborn.
I don't want him to do it. If he does do it, I would hope that she would remain strong enough to realize that the level of disrespect that he displayed to her, it's unrepairable. I would hope that she would realize
I agree with that. It's unrepairable. And we are coming on, an hour and 21 minutes because we knew we had to talk about this because it was a great episode. We don't know what's going to happen next week. Like I said, it is what it is. What a difference a week makes. So let's see what happens next week. Shahida, I can't wait to see you tomorrow.
I thought you were going to bring something up. You're like, okay, but we have to talk about this.
Oh, wait. Sorry.
We had to talk about it. I thought you were about to. No, Tanya, I thought you were about to say it's like an hour and 20 minutes when we have to talk about this. I was like, oh, what else do we cover?
Oh, I think when I said that, I was talking about offline personal shit.
Oh. Yeah, it was a really good episode for just about every couple. Because remember how we were yawning, even with, Brett and Ryan, every couple brought a little bit of something.
Yeah.
And only one couple had any kind of like love or affection towards each other, and that was Johnny and Bao. So hopefully they keep it. Hopefully they keep it for the next week. But I'm dying to see.
As long as they keep fucking, they good.
If I had to rank, I go Johnny we're gonna make it Johnny and Bao.
Oh yeah.
Then
Myral and Gil, I'll say it for you, boo.
Myral and Gil.
God. Johnny Bao, Myral and Gil.
And that's it.
Zack and Michaela.
Zack and Michaela might be a close third.
Like rank. I'm not saying make it or not. But Zack and Michaela.
And that's it.
Brett and so-and-so.
That's it. No, not going to work. Not going to work.
Gil and,
Rachel and Jose. Not going to work. I'm going to give.
If I had to rank it in terms of like who's, top, that's how I go.
If I had to rank. Last thing about Jose is like, we did see kind of like the abusiveness, the controllingness from the very beginning, and how I felt like, she won't be able to handle that. The thing that really surprised me about him, well, maybe not so much, because I'm trying to think back to when his family was around and how his stepmother was like, you can't let him like run you, how she was saying that. I would like to go back and see what his family has really to say about him, because they were positive about him, but there was an edge to it. You know what I mean? Like almost like he's a great guy, but you could see butt all over their face. And I wonder if that was part of it, because if he's dirty like that to her, I'm 100% sure he's dirty like that with the stepmother and the dad and his friends. That comes out. Anyway, so until next week. Until next week.
And and Shahida, don't hang up. Don't do us dirty like you've been doing us the past 2 weeks. But we'll see you.
Well, I had my book club.
I know, shut your mouth. I already know. We'll see you next week, and we'll see if we're right. But peace out, y'all. Do, 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 do.